this. Can you even see?
Are very important, especially those
Make it harder.
Incorporated.
Until I get back into doing it.
Incorporated.
Cool. Oh wow, my weekend.
Incorporated.
I accidentally clicked on Liam.
I took a train to the middle of Spain, and it started to rain when I just got off. So I went to the club, just trying to have fun. You only live once, and I just got off. I took a train to the middle of Spain and it started to rain. Every night and day trying to eat your brain, girls on the game. Now it's time to play, can't feel my face and it's getting late. Every night and day trying to eat your brain, girls on the game.
50 yet. I'm 57. It's one hell of a fight to stay in shape. People that are much younger have no clue. You guys have no clue when you're in your 20s and 30s. You think it'll always be like that? It won't. You just wait. You just wait. It becomes extremely difficult to keep weight off and to keep muscle, and especially to keep yourself motivated. That is extreme. That's what everyone, okay, I shouldn't say everyone, but that's what most people struggle with is motivation. And I've been working out I started lifting weights when I was 11. I didn't continue to, but that's when I realized that I was much stronger than other people, other girls, is what I mean. And I put on muscle easily. Thank goodness, that's a gift. So putting on muscle is gold. You want as much muscle as you can get. And ladies, if you're watching, you will not get bulky lifting weights. You'll be lucky if you get any muscle at all. It's very difficult. So people that see how all of this, what I just did, is what I really do to keep myself motivated, to keep it fun and different and exciting. If I just always go to the gym and do all the, the basic exercises, that gets boring. I've done it for a very long time and it gets boring. I'm speaking from a great deal of experience. So open your mind. Try to learn new ways to be active. Question your own beliefs. Anyway, I don't know if I ever get through to anybody. I really don't. I think there's a couple people, but for the most part, I don't think so. I'm gonna go after this.
Ein, sei dabei, wenn wir cruisen fahren. Wir haben Spaß, geben Gas auf der Autobahn. Wir sind Verrückte und tun Dinge, die sonst keiner tut. Das ist unsere Tuning-Szene. Wir haben Benzin im Blut. Heiße Schlitten, heiße Mieten, heißer Typ lässt Reifen quietschen. Meine Karre, meine Frau, geiles Auto, geile Sau. Krasser Typ im krassen Dreier, dicke Reifen, dicke Eier. Mann und Frau im VR6, Disco-Parkplatz, Rhythmen. Geile Flügeltüren, keine ABE dafür. Ich weiß, das ist illegal, doch das ist mir scheißegal. Boxen leisten 1000 Watt, beste Pumpen, richtig satt. Böser Blick und breites Heck, Bullenwasser, wir sind weg. Steig mit ein, sei dabei, wenn wir cruisen fahren. Wir haben Spaß, geben Gas auf der Autobahn. Wir sind Verrückte und tun Dinge, die sonst keiner tut. Das ist unsere Tuning-Szene. Wir haben Benzin im Blut. Steig mit ein, sei dabei, wenn wir cruisen fahren. Wir haben Spaß, geben Gas auf der Autobahn. Wir sind Verrückte und tun Dinge, die sonst keiner tut. Das ist unsere Tuning-Szene. Wir haben Benzin im Blut. Überhole Schickimicki, reiches Mädchen, du bist Schnösel, ich bin Polo, ich bin Pöbel, ich hab meine Crew dabei und hab einen Fuß aus Blei. Ich hab keinen Respekt vor dir, denn das ist mein Revier. Wir halten an der Ampel an, guck nicht so, du Hampelmann, dann dreh ich die Mucke laut, mach ein Stück das Fenster auf. Ich will dich nicht provozieren, lass mich nur vom Mast massieren, drücke leicht aufs Gaspedal und verheiß dich gleich nochmal. Steig mit ein, sei dabei, wenn wir cruisen fahren. Wir haben Spaß, geben Gas auf der Autobahn. Wir sind Verrückte und tun Dinge, die sonst keiner tut. Das ist unsere Tuning-Szene. Wir haben Benzin im Blut. Durchgeknallt und Öl verschmiert, sind von Autos fasziniert. Wir streicheln die Zylinderbank, trinken selber aus dem Tank. Wir sind einfach völlig krank. Wir sind vom Tuning-Virus infiziert, durchgeknallt und Öl verschmiert, sind von Autos fasziniert. Wir
Stock up with Superboga.
Necesito comer. Yep, 57. Young. I was trying to look at JIE. Sunday, somebody said, ha 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 ha. Well, that was nice of Scott to say. Really nice. Wow, thank you, Beverly, for sharing the live. I really struggled today to exercise at all. I'm not feeling well, and I don't know what's going on, but I had to literally force myself out the door. I had to force myself out the door, almost like I was tricking I know that sounds strange, but I could I don't know, I'm so fatigued, but anyway, I went for a 30-minute walk, and I think I know the only reason I was able to walk, especially that long, is because of my music. Music affects most people pretty profoundly. It does me anyway, and I can control my mind and what I do with music. Music gives me energy. I don't know if other people have ever thought that. Nobody says anything back. It's just like talking to myself, but it gives me tremendous energy. It affects my mood. If I'm sad and I listen to sad music, I immediately have to change it because I don't want to be, you don't want to be sad. I don't want to be sad. So, anyway. It's like when it's that dark. Glasses. Wow. Yeah, Michelle. It does me too. And I couldn't get my headphones to sync with my phone and got real upset. That was ridiculous. I shouldn't have that much trouble. And almost didn't walk, and then sat on the couch for about an hour before I could make myself start to even do this. And it was hard, and I thought, all right, I'll live stream. That way, I know, I feel like I have to be, I don't have to be, but I want to be motivational and inspirational and show people it is difficult to lose weight, and it's more difficult, to me anyway, to maintain that weight loss. And there are a lot of people that have really good information about nutrition and exercise, but I knew all about nutrition and exercise. I have most of my life, but yet I couldn't make myself do the things that I knew I should do. So why is that? To me, that's the real epidemic with obesity. And I listened to Sirius XM, it's satellite radio, and I'm streaming. Yeah, who said that? Anderson built. Yeah, it does me too, because I feel like pressured. I can't just stand here and think, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I don't want to do this. Because then I know people are watching. And so it inspires me, hoping that I inspire others. But now I don't know what I was talking about. I was saying something that I felt strongly about. Well, my whole message is, I was talking about Dr. Radio. That's the only thing I listen to when I listen to the radio. And a specialist, I don't remember what his credentials were, but he was one of the country's foremost specialists in obesity, and especially childhood obesity. And he did not say it's a disease. I have a lot of mixed feelings about that. but because I'm the person that scientists study, because I am so unlikely, less than 0.5% to have achieved what I did. I'll say it again, less than 0.5% were my odds of losing weight, 110 pounds, after being morbidly obese the majority of my life. I had all the tools and the knowledge, and I had a tremendous amount of desire to be a healthy weight, but it didn't matter. I couldn't make yes, sure, I lost weight sometimes and maybe maintained it for maybe a month or something like that. If there was some special event or something that I wanted to lose weight for, but I didn't. I don't think I got below 200, and why no, I didn't. Anyway, but the difficult part, what I feel like I know better than and where I fit in with all of this is helping people figure out what it is that prevents them from achieving their goals. Even if they have the knowledge, they have they know what to eat, they're educated or even semi-educated about what to eat, and they know that they should exercise, but yet they can't make themselves do it, or they can't make themselves do it consistently. And why is that? And so that's what I had to figure out. It took me 3 decades to figure out. Like I said, my odds were less than 0.5%. I'm the #1 featured success story on the National Weight Control Registry. Link is in my bio. If you click on it, it has a picture of me and my story. It's a very credible, extremely prestigious. I'm not trying to say I'm great, but they really vetted me before. That they don't just look at it and see for yourself what I'm talking about and who they're affiliated with. But scientists, like I said, study people like me who actually did what I did. And I would love to help other people figure out what their obstacles are, because I don't think a lot of people even realize why they can't lose weight, or why they can't stay motivated, or can't implement the things that they do know about weight loss. Why is that? It's not like people don't know that they should eat fewer calories and exercise. People know that, but why can't they make themselves do that? Why is that? So, and there could be there are so many reasons. If you're an emotional eater or a binge eater, stress eater, you have an obsessive compulsive disorder and you obsessively eat. There's so many reasons that people can't implement the knowledge that they have about losing weight. And I never, ever hear anyone ever talk about it. And I guess they don't have the perspective I do, because very few people have actually done what I did. There are people that have been very obese and have lost it and have kept it off, but I was morbidly obese the majority of my life, and I did not lose weight until I was 45. That is pretty darned old to finally lose weight. It took me 3 years, from age 45 to 48. It is how long it took me. I lost the majority of it the first year, and then the second and third year were even more difficult than the first. I shouldn't say that. It was the second and third year were different than they were the first year. Initially, when the fat starts coming off of you and you start to feel a little bit more energetic and you start to feel your self-esteem feels a little bit better, that's exciting in itself, and that's helps drive you to continue. But when you have, I think I lost between 60 and 75 pounds the first year, and that's a lot of weight to lose. And then the second year, I had sort of implemented these new habits and ways of thinking, because you have to change how you think. You have to change. It's not an easy feat. That's why most people don't accomplish it. It can be very overwhelming and scary. It scared me in a way to have lost the equivalent of an entire person. It psychologically, it was bizarre, and I don't know how else to explain it, but there's a lot to it. If you take baby steps, it does not have to be. So let me see what somebody said. So yes, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I appreciate it very much. I wish people would ask me questions. I feel like I don't get through to. I think that my message gets mixed or skewed sometimes because, put yourself in my shoes. I was not attractive to men. I wanted to be attractive so badly. I tried for decades, and I wasn't attracted. Men never looked. Men, they didn't look at me. And so now, here I am, 57, and I finally can feel attractive. So I want to show what I finally did. And so I think people think I'm something that I'm not. And I need a constant reminder myself to see what I've achieved, to want to continue. And so, and I'm very conservative despite what, I don't know what people think. I really don't. It's hard to believe you were a sure. Well, thank you. I was, and I am very honest, Garden. I truly want to help people, to let people know that it's possible. And I wanted to call in when I was listening to Dr. Radio, but I was in my car on the highway and I couldn't. And I know that if they interviewed me, I could help in so many ways identify. This was the specialist that I was listening to on Dr. Radio, who was talking about how complicated weight loss is and how weight loss is very individualized. It is not one size fits all by any means. We all, the people that really struggle with weight loss struggle for different reasons. The reasons I struggle are probably not the reasons you would struggle. So I kind of consider myself, I've been thinking about it a lot. And where do I fit in? And how do I want to write my book? And I kind of consider myself like a gatekeeper to help people figure out what it is that's preventing them from achieving their goals. Because people, when I was in the throes of it, I didn't know. I just knew that I felt always hungry, no matter how much I ate. And I knew that I was eating the right amount of protein, fiber, fats, etc. And I was still hungry. And it made me feel like a loser. Like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do it? Why can't I just be a healthy weight? Why can't I just be normal? But no, it took me until 45, but I'm 57 now, and I've kept it off. Against all odds, I had to completely change pretty much everything about my life. And if I was you, and I was 250 like I used to be, and I watched me, I would think, that's just too much. That's too overwhelming. That seems too stressful. I don't think I can do that. I can't change all those things, but you can. And what is that expression? How do you eat an elephant one piece at a time? It can be done. It really can. The most important component of it is a very, very strong desire to be a healthy weight. If you have an extremely strong desire, then you can get there. Now I've made it too cold. Well, do I recommend cardio and weightlifting to lose weight? I actually just read an article about that, and they say that the latest information is that both are about equally important. However, weightlifting was slightly more advantageous than cardio, because cardio, if you do too much of it, creates muscle wasting, and I'm probably not saying it correctly, but the cardio that I do, I've read so much about it, I do walk, but I walk when I'm outside for the D3. And when I go to the gym, I do not usually do the treadmill. I do the elliptical. I used to do the Stairmaster until I tore my meniscus, but I do the elliptical because it builds up my muscles in my legs and my glutes. And when you walk or run, guess what? It makes your butt flat and sag more. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Knowledge is power. You need to know. You need to be informed. Anyway, I wish people would ask me questions. Well, oh, my eBay. Well, nobody's. I'm gonna blame you and not me. I'm kidding. There are so many things that I can talk about as far as trying to succeed, and I'm not. I think sometimes I get misunderstood. I don't think there's anything wrong with people that want to be heavy or don't have a problem with it. I wanted to lose weight because I had a lot of health issues that were created because of how obese I was. I had serious health problems, and I didn't. Yes, it's nice to look better, but it's more important to be healthy and to be able to enjoy life and be active in your life. And when you're as heavy as I was and you have a deformed foot and ankle and all the problems that I had, there's no life. No, that's not life. Not being able to participate with your own kids because you're so fat and embarrassed. It's been one of your lifetime endeavors, but fitness. So have you kept your weight where you want, if I may ask? Because I struggle every day. Every single day I still struggle. And I say that because it's the truth. But you can do it. If someone like me that's so hardcore with so many eating issues can lose weight and keep it off, then you can too. You can too. Hi, Tony. How are you? Hi, Dave. I didn't mean to say that. Hi, Dave. Let's see. I don't know what Pazonis is. My glasses. Well, if no one's going to ask anything, I think I'm going to go eat. What am I going to eat? One of the important parts of keeping your weight off is to plan ahead. But I have canned salmon and canned tuna and canned chicken. And when you haven't planned what you're going to eat for dinner, I frequently just eat a can of salmon or a can of tuna. And then make sure I get my protein in. I actually curb my appetite before bed. I always eat something before I go to sleep because I tend to get hungry in the night and I wake up and tend to want to binge in the night. So I eat high fiber cereal. I have it in one of my videos, the Fiber One cereal. I can't get this off. The Fiber One cereal I keep actually on my nightstand next to my bed, and I have a refrigerator in my bathroom with water, protein drinks. What else do I have in there? Oh, I have, now it's pretty indulgent for me, but I have these Quest protein chips, and I've trained myself. If I wake up like that, it's a big indulgence for me to eat a protein bar. And a lot of it is perspective and what you train yourself to think. You have to almost train yourself. And that's the best way that I can describe it, especially for someone like me with so many disadvantages as far as morbid obesity really runs in my family, all kinds of eating issues. I have relatives that were in the 400 and 500 pounds. I have pictures of them. So, and that's on both sides of the family. And my dad and his brother, so many people in my family have had eating issues, bizarre eating issues that I don't even know if some of them are identified, but I find it fascinating, actually. Let's see. Diabetics do for being a little overweight, then lose it. I'm just not sure I understand, Michael. Fiber One, no, I just eat it dry. It doesn't taste very good, I'll be honest. It tastes like what I would imagine gerbil food to taste like. They look like little pellets. I'm really selling it, aren't I? But I'm telling you the truth. But I eat it, and it expands in my stomach, and I'm not hungry anymore. So I achieve my goal. And sometimes we're supposed to eat to live, not live to eat. That's a very old expression. And I frequently have to remind myself to eat to live, not live to eat, because I sure do enjoy food. I mean, if I let myself eat certain kinds of food, I can't stop eating it. So I can't have it in the house at all. Or I have it out in a locked refrigerator that literally has a chain on it. I have diabetes from being, oh, I'm sorry, Michael. Well, that's me for the cereal. I mean, even in milk, it's not that great, but, and maybe it's me that thinks it's so gross, but it's the highest fiber cereal that you can buy that I've ever seen, ever. And we need fiber to be healthy, so why not invest in yourself? Buy some Fiber One cereal. Keep it by your bed. And if you wake up or before you go to sleep, I tend to wake up frequently in the night, and it's become worse as I've gotten older. I don't know why. I don't know why I do it. But if I can eat the Fiber One cereal and or a protein bar, I always aim for the Fiber One cereal first, because, I mean, it's very low calorie, it's extremely high in fiber, and extremely satiating. So that's the best go-to that I have ever discovered. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. It's, why not? Why not? And sometimes we have to take care of ourselves like we would take care of a child that we love. And no, it doesn't taste that good. And no, it's not fun to eat Fiber One cereal in the middle of the night if you wake up hungry, but it works, and it helps you achieve your goal. It helps you love yourself. It's good for you. Do it for yourself. That's the best way I can say it. And I feel strongly about it because I've lived this for decades. So that's one of my big passions is weight control. And again, I'm not trying to say that heavy people are unattractive. They're beautiful, heavy people that are happy the way they are. But my body couldn't handle it. My frame is too small. I had too many health issues. So in order to be healthy and live, I had to lose weight. I had no choice. Fasting is also, Lucas, you're right. I've read real papers about fasting, and however, for someone like me with binge eating disorder and all the other issues I have with food, I can't even go 2 hours without food. So I get lightheaded, what do they call it, hangry. I can't do it. And I feel deprived, just like I do when I have to eat less to lower my weight. I don't like to say diet. It's a lifestyle, it's not a diet. So for me, fasting will never happen. Never. What really matters is how many calories you take in, how much activity you have. I used MyFitnessPal in the early stages, and it's a really great free app. And you put in how much activity you had. You put in all the information, your sex and age and height and all of that. And it gives you a base of approximately how many calories you burn without activity and how many calories you need to maintain your weight. And if you exercise, you put that in. Anyway, look it up. MyFitnessPal can help a great deal. Yes. I hadn't heard that about preventing insulin spikes. Dr. Oz says blueberries are brain berries. I'm very keenly aware that blueberries are one of the superfoods that we have. Blueberries and avocado, and like you said, blackberries. A lot of the superfoods, unfortunately, I don't like. I'm what's called a super taster. If you don't know what that is, and I'm not saying it to brag, I wish that I wasn't a super taster, because I taste and I smell things that I don't want to smell and taste. Like, for instance, Brussels sprouts. Oh, just smelling them makes me extremely nauseated. And I've tried everything I could to make it so that they were palatable to me, but they're, I don't get how people like them. And I've put butter and salt on them and cheese, and it's like they do something to my tongue, and I just find them disgusting. And the same thing with broccoli. I know those things are good for me. I know I need to eat them. I need to find more ways to, what I have found is with the broccoli, if it's cut up in little bitty pieces, it doesn't taste as gross. So all of this has been a real struggle for me. So for someone like me, again, to have lost this kind of weight and maintained it after being extremely obese the majority of my life, over 3 decades, if I can do it, it can be done. You have to really want it. You have to really, really want it. So, you don't like who? What did I miss? Maybe you meant Brussels sprouts. Broccoli's. I wish that I liked it. My dad used to make me eat it. He wouldn't let me leave the dinner table, and I used to spit it in my napkin and put it under my butt when I was a kid, and he'd always find it, and he was awful. I wouldn't do that to my kid, make them eat something that was so repulsive to them. What you're supposed to do is make your kids taste, and supposedly after tasting a new food 7 times, your child will hopefully, they have a good chance of developing an affinity for that, like broccoli. But I never did. I was always a super taster and just found sour, cruciferous vegetables. I've got to find a way to eat more, but how do I deal with that when just smelling them makes me nauseated, like sauerkraut, Brussels sprouts, just thinking about it makes me feel nauseated. So I need to really work on that. I'm saying those things because I'm very honest. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. But I want to help people. I want people to know that they can lose weight and they can maintain a weight loss. Cauliflower isn't bad. Now, that's one of them that's not that bad to me. Another problem is I don't like to cook. Isn't that terrible? I don't like to cook. So what I do, because I don't like to cook, what I do is I meal prep. I make, like on Saturday and or Sunday, I make a lot of whatever it is I'm going to eat that week so that I have leftovers, so that as soon as I get hungry, I can immediately grab it. I like cooking salmon. That's easy to make taste good with olive oil, garlic, ginger, and that's very, very good for you. So I usually eat salmon at least 3 days a week, and I don't always eat protein at every meal. I'm trying to eat more protein. I was reading an article yesterday, actually, that said that you should eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So now that's not an exact number. If you look it up, it can be like 0.9 of a gram up to, I think, 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight is really high. To me, that would be for young males. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. I don't think we need that much. That much protein isn't necessarily good for us. And the expression, everything in moderation, is very true there. That's my opinion. I'm not saying it's statistically proven, but I've been around a while. I've read about all of this for quite some time, and it works for me. So it's easy to remember. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That's the easiest way to remember it. And a good breakfast. We also need, I think, eggs every day. I eat 2 eggs almost every day, and eggs are high in choline. And I'm obsessed. I shouldn't say obsessed. I'm highly interested in people who are centenarians. They've lived to 100 and over. I think they're fascinating to read about how they live their life. How do they think? What do they eat? What kind of family structure do they have? What's their activity level? I find it fascinating. And one of the biggest trends, I guess I could say, in my reading about these people and watching interviews is they roll with the punches. They don't get upset about things. That's hard for me. I'm extremely emotional, and I'm working on that, but they have a very calm demeanor. They don't get upset or agitated, and the people that I've seen, they seem to be really nice, genuine people. And maybe that helps, because we all need friends to be healthy, and people like that probably do have a lot of friends. And that's probably, well, I know, I've read a lot about I just completely lost my train of thought. I need to eat. But, I was talking about centenarians, and I have a friend that's almost 91, and I actually visit her. She lives in a different state, and I find her fascinating, and she is the nicest person, and she's still very lucid. Her wisdom is amazing. She's one of the few people I really listen to, because she's lived. Think about her wisdom. She's seen just about everything and knows people and how people are. I'm doing well. How are you? I'm going to take my shoes off. They're driving me crazy. I wear orthotics because I have crummy feet. I have a deformed foot and ankle, and these orthotics make a squeaking sound every single time I take a step. But if you have orthotics, there's a trick. You put, I don't know if you can see my orthotics, but you put baby powder in between the orthotics and the shoe, and it stops the squeaking. I just need to do it. But I've worn orthotics since I was in college and started having really serious foot issues. Nice weather. Yes, I actually went walking today and it was awesome outside. I loved it. I made a really, what I think is a cool video, but I didn't put it on TikTok. I put it on Instagram, and it's really me. I think it's very creative. I'm an artist and I love the video, but I don't know what other people will think. And, but I'd love to know if other people think it's, I don't know. I just think it was what I like most of all, and what I think is most important is that we have fun with whatever we do, because if we don't enjoy something, we're not going to continue doing it, right? I mean, we know that, but we're not always conscious of it. We don't always think about that whatever activity you choose to do to stay in shape, it needs to be something that you think is fun and enjoy. Otherwise, there's no point. You won't continue to do it. Did you? I did put it on YouTube. I did. I put it on YouTube and I put it on Instagram, and I think it's really a neat video. But what I think and what other people think, I had fun making it. And I did it today when I went walking, actually. So I really enjoyed it. I want to be a lot more creative with my videos, and I'm trying to find, I guess you'd say, my voice here. And I'm honing it down. I'm getting closer and closer. And when I say finding my voice, I mean it's an expression I use in writing, and I'm trying to clarify in my mind the message that I want to convey and how to convey it. Because there are a lot of people out there that teach others how to lose weight and how to maintain it. And that's not really what my message is. But how do I explain that? So my message is more implementation of the knowledge that you have about weight loss and weight loss maintenance. How do you, now some people may not even be able to relate to that. They can just immediately follow an eating plan and go running every day, and then they lose weight and they don't have a problem with it. I was never like that. It didn't matter how much knowledge, how much professional help, how much wisdom, it didn't matter. I couldn't do it. I couldn't eat that, what I thought was a small amount of food. And I didn't want to exercise. I always liked lifting weights, it's true. But I was embarrassed to be in a gym. I was huge. And I knew that I would stick out, and I did. And even though I'm very, very independent, and I always tell myself, well, I don't care what other people think. Well, I did. And I didn't want to admit that to myself, but I did. And I was very ashamed of how I looked and that I had let myself, but I struggled so much to not be that heavy. And I just couldn't control my eating. I couldn't control my eating. I couldn't make myself exercise. And I felt like I was like trapped almost in my own mind, and didn't know how to get out. And that's when I created my alter ego. And it defined, because it was like there were two parts of my personality. The part that was very intelligent, very knowledgeable, and very driven to lose that weight and be healthy. But then I was always sabotaged by this other part of my brain that wanted to eat all those foods, that didn't want to exercise, didn't want to do all those things. And for some reason, that part of me sabotaged the good part of my brain. And these are terms that I'm making up, but I think you know what I mean. It's pretty easy to understand. So when I created an alter ego that I call my monster, it was easy for me to separate those behaviors and desires in my mind. And it made it much easier for me to adhere to a plan, my plan. I do have excess skin, unfortunately. Well, I had 2 surgeries. Look, I'll prove it, since people think, she was never that. Yeah, I was. I had a brachioplasty. You see the scar? It goes from my armpit to my elbow. The scar healed pretty well, but I really worked on it. I used what's called BioSilk. And then I had what's called a transverse abdominis all the way around my entire body. And they went over my 3 C-sections. So, and I have pictures of all that. So I lost 110 pounds. There's no way you're going to get out of loose skin. No way. Especially since I was obese for decades. There's just no way. And then to have lost it, finally started to lose it at age 45, and then finished losing it at age 48. Of course I was going to have loose skin. There was no way around it. And my mom, I was very fortunate, paid for my surgery and took care of me afterwards. It was a very long and difficult journey to go through that. I had to wear these lymph bags, and that had to be changed out. And not everybody, but a lot of people are familiar with that. Well, thank you, Big Wheatley. I appreciate it. I sure. It's not easy, and it's always a struggle, but it can be done. It can. And I felt like I would never lose weight. I wanted to so badly, but I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. Well, you cannot, well, I'm not lying. I can show you pictures. You can't see the scars? Let me turn the light up. There. Now I know you can. I had an excellent surgeon. It goes. I can feel it. There. Now you can see it. Right? You see it? It's weird to me to have to prove that there's so many people that knew me. The light hurts my eyes. There's so many people that knew me when I was that obese, and they would think it's hilarious that somebody thinks that I was never that fat. They would think it's just hilarious because no one thought that I would ever lose weight, including myself. Thank you for the rose. They did heal well, but I was vigilant about putting, it's called BioSilk, BioSilk. You can buy it on Amazon. And that's what my plastic surgeon told me to put on it. And boy, was I good about it. Because the scars on the brachioplasty scars can look really bad. I've seen pictures of people and they're real thick scars, and I didn't want that. Of course I didn't want that. So I was a good patient, and I did what I was told, and I probably overdid it even, but I thought, why not do too much than not enough? And they healed really well despite my age. And so maybe I wouldn't say it was luck. It was because I did what I was supposed to. I worked really hard. Well, thank you, Bertman. Thank you. I would love for some of the people that used to know me. I'm divorced, and I don't live in the same neighborhood where all those people knew me as being so obese. And I remember this one man that taught my son swim lessons saw me, and he used to see me when I wore a brace that went from my knee to the end of my foot just so I could walk. And I was big. And I was gross. I was just gross. And then I started losing weight, and I told no one. It was my secret. And he couldn't believe it. He said, when he saw me, because I think it was like at the end of, I don't remember what the timing was, but I remember he taught my son swim lessons in his pool at his house. And I remember he was shocked by how different I looked. And he just stared at me and said, "You should write a book about what you did. That is unbelievable." It was amazing. And then I had another foot surgery, foot and ankle, and I could get out of the brace. And being that heavy didn't do me any favors with having such a bad foot. How many significant injuries that's hindering? Yes, I have significant injuries right now. And a broken rib is pretty serious. I have injuries right now. And here's the trick. You have to be resourceful, and you have to be relentless. There's always a way that you can be active. You can just go for a walk, can you not? Paycheck, can't you just go for a walk? I mean, that's better than nothing. You need to be active. I stand up almost all day long at my laptop in my kitchen. I work out of my house, and standing burns, and then I fidget. And I've talked about this before on all my lives. I do this in my laptop, and sometimes I stretch, and you know what? It adds up. I know it seems like it's insignificant, but I'm the perfect example of showing you that it does add up. Well, thank you, Wally. I appreciate it. Well, I think I'm going to go eat dinner. You have walked for the last 4 days. Well, that's activity. Could you go to the gym and just work on your legs, your lower half of your body? I mean, what did your doctor tell you to do? Did he say that you could only walk? Surely, I mean, I've never had a broken rib. I know it's extremely painful. What did you think, Wally? Seated squats are good. Yes, you're right. What did you think of the video, Wally, on YouTube? I love that video. I thought it was so much fun. It was good. Well, thank you. Well, I'm going to go. And my son is home. And thank you. Bye. I will be back. Love yourself.